Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video we're going to be going over the all-new 2022 Jeep Grand Cherokee 4xE. We're going to get into what this package is all about. We're going to get into the pricing, which is pretty crazy, and a few other things. So with all that being said, let's just hop right into the video. So Jeep is obviously releasing the new Grand Cherokee for the 2022 model year. They've already had the Grand Cherokee L out for a year, and we're finally getting the regular sized Grand Cherokee out for 2022. Now, we're also getting the new 4xE as part of the 2022 lineup. First off, let's talk about when this is actually going to be available. Probably springtime to summertime, sometime this year, basically, is when we'll start seeing these at dealerships where you'll actually be able to purchase one with the 4xE model. The actual Grand Cherokee itself, some dealers might already have some of those on their lots that have the V6 or the 5.7 Hemi, but the 4xE is going to come a little bit later. Now, in terms of specs with the 4xE, it's just like the Wrangler 4xE, and you guys know I reviewed a couple of those on the main channel. So it's a turbocharged 2-liter 4-cylinder that goes through an 8-speed automatic transmission. It's paired to a hybrid system, so 2 electric motors, and the total system output is 375 horsepower, 470 pound-feet of torque, with a driving electric range of 25 miles, which I can say from the Wrangler is actually relatively accurate. You can get somewhere around that, and I think the Grand Cherokee is going to be better than the Wrangler, right, with the electric range in terms of being more accurate, because it's like this sleek vehicle. It's not a block of cheese going down the road with crazy off-road tires and all that. So that'll make this the most premium powertrain for the Grand Cherokee, because it has more horsepower, more torque than any other powertrain in the lineup. That being said, though, this powertrain then comes at a price. So the starting price for the 4xE is going to be about just under $60,000. And the 4xE is basically going to start in a package that is just like the Limited. So if you, kind of have seen the pricing with the Grand Cherokee, a Limited with the V6 is, like high 40s, basically. And so you're looking at having to spend like $10,000 more basically for the 4xE powertrain, which is pretty expensive. So yeah, there's a very large price premium on it. Now there are some other packages with the 4xE as well that'll come in. So like I said, that base package, which is like the Limited. Then you're going to have a Trailhawk, which is the off-road package. That's going to be $64,000 for the starting. Overland, which, entry level, well, kind of more like loaded up luxury. The Limited is like entry level luxury. Anyways, 65 or 67.5, and then the Summit, which is going to start at over 71, and then the Summit Reserve, which will start at over $76,000. That is right, $76,000 for a Grand Cherokee with a 4-cylinder engine under the hood. Pretty crazy stuff. But the Summit Reserve pretty much comes fully loaded. Like, there's not a lot of options you can add to it, so it's not like it's after options. It's going to be, it'll be a little bit more, but not as much more as what you'd expect. And so yeah, it's pretty interesting how they're pricing this out. Basically, it seems like the price increase is more than what they have with the Jeeps. I mean, there is a price premium for the 4xE, but I don't think it's this high. So it's kind of interesting that what they're going for. But from what I've heard from people, it seems like there's more excitement about the 4xE being in the Grand Cherokee than in the Wrangler, which I think is interesting, because I took a Wrangler Rubicon off-road that has the 4xE, and it was amazing off-road, like the best Wrangler I've ever taken off-road. It's amazing. The instant power and torque you get from the electric motors is so good for crawling. So that's what kind of I thought was interesting on that side of things. But I guess that we will kind of get into my opinions, and then we'll kind of sum things up. This shouldn't be a terribly long video. So first off, the 4xE in general, I actually really like the powertrain. It suits the Grand Cherokee well, because it's not super loud and obnoxious, because it's constantly switching between doing hybrid driving and then full electric driving, which kind of gives you a more quiet, luxurious drive, which is what Jeep's going for with the Grand Cherokee. They're trying to turn this into like a luxury car alternative, right? That's why they've gone for the styling they've gone for in the exterior, and then that's why they've gone for the styling with the interior, and kind of like how they have it set up to where it's like feels like a luxury car from the interior perspective. Power and performance is great. Passing power with it is fantastic on the highway, and it just has so much torque, and so it's really good. And like I said, off-road, that powertrain does fantastic. And then obviously having that electric range is great. And there's actually an e-save mode that you can do with the 4xe powertrain, where if you don't have time to charge it, you can basically charge it as you're driving. It does use gas to do that, but then you can have the full electric range. So like the benefit with the Wrangler was I had it in the e-save mode. So then by the time I got to the off-roading course, I had a full charge with the electric range, so I could go through some of the off-road trails in full EV mode. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, overall, I think there's going to be a ton of utility to it. Starting price is very expensive. So I'll be interested to see, how many people actually end up going for this powertrain, because a lot of Grand Cherokee buyers are more than okay with the base model engine, the V6, right? The V6, they feel like has more than enough power, more than enough acceleration. And you're not going to, the amount of price that the money difference, right, between the V6 and this 4xe powertrain, you're not going to make that up in terms of, the fuel economy difference for a very, very long time. I mean, it's probably, I could do the math, but like, I've done this before with hybrids, and it's literally hundreds of thousands of miles, and then some vehicles, it's like literally over 1 million miles, and then you finally get to a point where you're breaking even to where the hybrid is basically paid for itself. So it's not going to be something to save money. It's going to be something that you do because you want the extra performance and you want the utility of being able to do full electric in certain circumstances and all that. But yeah, I'm super excited for it to come out. I'm super excited to drive it, but I'm not sure how popular it's going to be just because of how expensive it is. I think that most people are still going to buy V6s. I think that's going to be the engine that sells the most. I think you're still going to have some Hemi buyers, but the Hemi has always kind of been a little bit more niche, and I think this being more expensive than both of them, I think that you're going to have less. I mean, I know there's going to be some adoption, but I think it's just going to be V6s, and then you'll have a couple 4xEs and a couple Hemis, basically, is what you'd see on a dealer lot if they had a bunch of these Grand Cherokees in inventory. But that's going to sum things up. I want you guys to let me know what you think about the new 4xe, if you're planning on getting one, and yeah, I'll see you.